John Smith, an experienced accountant with 30 years of experience, sat at his desk in a cozy office on the 5th floor of a modern business center. Diplomas and certificates hung on the wall, testifying to his high professional achievements. On this day, like many others, he was immersed in calculations and reports that filled his desk. Numbers and graphs flickered on his computer screen. John always prided himself on his ability to quickly and accurately process large volumes of data, but in recent months, he had increasingly noticed how technology was beginning to infiltrate his daily work. Next to his computer stood the latest server, equipped with powerful AI-based software designed to automate accounting processes. What kind of future awaits us, John thought, recalling numerous articles and studies he had read about how AI is gradually taking over tasks that were once performed only by humans. He remembered a recent report predicting that by 2030, more than 50% of accounting operations would be fully automated. John walked over to the window and looked at the city stretching out before him. The hum of cars and the bustle of the metropolis seemed far removed from his small office world, but the changes brought by technology were everywhere. He returned to his desk and looked at the computer screen again. A program was open on it, analyzing the company's financial data in real time, identifying errors, and offering optimal solutions. It used to take days, and now just a few minutes, John thought with a hint of bitterness. He understood that the world was changing, and there was nothing he could do about it. He remembered how, at the beginning of his career, he used only paper journals and a calculator, but now all that had been replaced by powerful computers and complex programs. At that moment, his colleague, a young specialist named Michael, with whom John had worked for the past 2 years, approached him. Michael was a bright representative of the new generation of accountants, well-versed in technology and easily mastering new programs. "John, we have new data on the quarterly report. The program has already processed everything and is ready for review," Michael said, handing John a tablet with the completed report. John took the tablet and began reviewing the data. Everything was flawlessly accurate. The program hadn't left a single error. "Artificial intelligence really does make our work easier," he admitted to himself. But with this acknowledgement came the realization that his role in the company was changing. He was no longer the indispensable specialist everyone relied on. Now, his experience and knowledge were giving way to new technologies. "Michael," John suddenly said, "what do you think will happen to us, accountants, when AI fully takes over our work?" Michael thought for a moment, then replied, "I think our role will change. We will become more like consultants, analysts who help interpret data and make strategic decisions. But for that, we'll have to constantly learn and adapt to new conditions." Michael's words instilled a bit of optimism in John. He realized that despite all the changes, his experience and knowledge were still valuable. But to remain in demand, he needed to keep learning and developing, mastering new technologies, and becoming a new type of specialist. John looked at the city outside the window again. He realized that he couldn't stop progress, but he could become part of it. Instead of fearing the future, he decided to embrace it and use new opportunities for personal and professional growth. From that day on, John began actively studying all the innovations related to artificial intelligence and automation in accounting. He attended seminars, read articles, and shared new knowledge with colleagues. And although the road ahead seemed challenging, he was ready for it. Thus, John Smith, an experienced accountant, became an example of how one can embrace change and find new opportunities for oneself and one's profession.